Okay, we are in our next exciting installment of World War II. We have left off. The British troops are trapped in the city of Dunkirk. The Allied troops are trapped in the city of Dunkirk. It's not looking good. Hitler has basically taken over in the east and captured places like Austria, Hungary, swept north into Poland to split that with the USSR, who has come down and has taken Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. And so Hitler has pushed through the Ardennes forest and is racing towards the sea to basically encircle the Allied forces. And if he is able to do this, he will win. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no one really left to oppose him. And so they are cornered in this town called Dunkirk, and that is Great Britain, England, right there. Just this is 20 miles, so 35 miles or whatever it might be from England. And so, as I just kind of said, Germany had successfully pushed through France and cornered the Allied forces in the city of Dunkirk. And so we have this miracle that kind of occurs. It's a horrible defeat for France and for England. It's a horrible defeat, but it could have been, it's like having a bad round in boxing versus having a knockout. Sometimes you have a really bad round, but if you can get through the round, you might be able to turn it around later. And so here, what we have is the troops are stuck here, and 850 private boats aided military ships and ferried 338,000. 38 Allied troops across the English Channel. And it's a cool part of history. These weren't soldiers. These were just English people, British people, and French people that are going back and forth. That obviously across this, there's a lot of commerce that goes across it. People that are fishermen, things like that. And this is, I mean, it's just from a Google search. So I'm not like verifying it, but this is kind of the idea where you have little individual personal ships that are moving people back and forth across the English Channel. And so a large portion, not certainly all, a lot of people were captured or killed, but a large portion of the British Army and some French soldiers as well, I believe it was about 200,000 British soldiers and 100,000 French soldiers in that ballpark, are rescued and make it safely to England. Live to fight another day. So in June of 1940, Italy and Germany invaded Paris, and France surrendered. All right, Germans set up a puppet government. Basically, it's run by French people. It's kind of like what we would have called a protectorate, I believe, in some of the last units, but set up a puppet government known as Vichy, France, that was loyal to Germany. And so this is a government that is, in reality, even though the head of the government is a French person, it is run by the Nazis. This left Britain as the only major power opposing Hitler and Mussolini. So things have gotten real serious real quick, like on a world level in terms of how serious it is. So in 1940, we are in this, the Luftwaffe, and that is the name for Germany's Air Force at this time, begins bombing Britain as part of Operation Sea Lion. I think it's on the next slide here, as far as Operation Sea Lion. And what I will note for you, it was mentioned somewhat in the last, one of the previous ones of these. In World War I, we had biplanes that can kind of just do reconnaissance. By World War II, we have much more advanced planes that can bomb things, that can carry people, that can drop paratroopers on things. In World War I, we have tanks that are just, kind of might break down at any time. World War II, we've got like Panzer tanks. We've got a major upgrade. It's a lot of the same things, but the military tactics are much more advanced in terms of blitzkrieg and fast lightning war. As well, what goes along with this is a significant increase in technology as well. Just because you have planes in World War I and planes in World War II doesn't mean that they are able to be used for the same thing. And the one major difference is the ability to just like bomb things, bomb cities, bomb places where you can take a plane and fly it over and fly it back. So the plan was to bomb Britain, destroy the RAF, and that stands for Royal Air Force. I mean, you don't need to know that, but it's Royal Air Force. Royal, come on. Like, look what randomly just happened. Jeez, oh peas. It's not my day today, huh? What the heck? Alright, I just have to retype all that. Ugh. The Royal Air Force, and then send soldiers across the English Channel, once again, to invade. So the idea is they need to destroy the Royal Air Force because you cannot have a situation with all of these bombers. If you take 250,000 troops and you're trying to put them in boats across the English Channel and you don't have what's called air superiority, that you can be sure that the Royal Air Force is not going to be up there dropping bombs, what's going to happen is while they're going across the English Channel, they're just going to kill all of your soldiers. So you really can't invade Britain without having, at this time, without having air superiority, because they're just going to, on the voyage, going to just kill many of your troops. And then you've got the landing on the beach where you're going to be getting bombed once again. And so it's very important that you have air superiority and control of the skies. That's what they were trying to doing. This what they were trying to doing. Boy, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. Okay. This is known as the Battle of Britain. Hitler began by targeting RAF, the RAF, for example, bases and aircraft. Let's go down here. Let's go down here. Hitler began by bombing RAF targets like bases, aircraft, to again try to immobilize the Royal Air Force, but then changed strategy to bomb cities, including London. And the goal was to cause British people to push to surrender. The idea is that if you make life miserable for the people that are supporting the war, then you get a political movement internally to say, we want to push for peace, we want to surrender. And so the idea wasn't necessarily to destroy military targets, but to destroy the morale, to destroy the feelings, to destroy the support for the war amongst the British people. However, the British had, and so these are some pictures, these are people looking for German bombers. These are German bombers flying in and bombing Paris. These are people, English people, British people, in the tube, the subway stations during bombings. And so you'd have air raid sirens going off. People would run down into the underground to keep themselves safe. And this is kind of our keep calm and carry on, business as usual, keep calm and carry on, where everything is blown up, kind of, everything's messed up, but I'm still open for business. Keep calm, carry on, keep your business open. So the British had three major advantages. Number one, the British had developed, and this was brand new at the time, radar. And so obviously with planes and radar, I'm sure many of you are familiar, you're able to kind of track incoming planes and know where they are. So if you only have a couple of RAF pilots or a limited amount, you don't have to have people up in the skies everywhere to find them. You can see them on radar and send them right to where the Germans are coming in. Second, the Enigma machine, which is pictured right here. This was a machine used to transmit encrypted messages by the German army. And so you could put it out on the radio and no one could understand what it is because it was encrypted, it was all messed up in terms of what you would have heard. This would have been in Morse code. However, the British cracked the code, giving Britain advance notice of German maneuvers, what they were doing. And finally, the citizens, so I would say British citizens. The British people were extremely resilient and banded together. Keep calm and carry on. They also had a strong kind of national pride and very much pushed through the idea that they were going to win this war. They were going to stick this out no matter how bad it got. I'm going to keep my business open even though this is what my street looks like. This conflict lasted until May of 1941, with Hitler eventually abandoning Operation Sea Lion, saying we're not going to try to invade Britain, and turned his attention to other areas, which we will talk about in the next